Hey guys, welcome back to the SensorPop channel for another deck profile. This week we are going to be talking about my favorite Android, Android 13, Mr. Truckerhead himself. Well, 18 is also my favorite Android. Also Android 21. Before we jump into the deck profile, I hope you guys are safe and healthy at home. I do have some time because the city I'm living in is in a lockdown, so I'm trying out this new camera setup. I hope it improved the recording of all videos in this channel, but this is a new technology, so bear with me. There's definitely gonna be some teething issue. This is the second time I'm recording this because the first time I'm recording, I was looking at a camera like that throughout the whole video, so it was pretty bad. I had to do a retake, but I hope it's gonna work out in the end. So without further ado, let's see each other after the short intro, alright? Maybe I can put some Dragon Ball merchandise over at this shell. Hey guys, so welcome back from the intro. Let's go straight into the deck profile. I think sometimes my videos are a little bit too long because this guy talks a lot. So let's go straight into the deck profile. Android 13, this is the leader. He is a very special leader because he has came out from like set 3. So he's still playable right now because Bandai just keeps on giving him support, and with the recent release, it was so good. I really loved it. So Android 13, so when your life is, if there is a 15 and 14 in your drop area, this card can awaken when your life is 6 or less. When your life is 4 or less, you get to draw 2 cards and flip this card over. So, but you can activate at 6 life if you have Android 14 or 15 card in your drop area, and that's it. So when your opponent, Son Goku or battle card with energy 6 or less is placed in his drop area, this card gains critical. When he attacks, you get to draw a card. Okay, let's go straight into the deck profile. This is how I would play it. Alright, so let's talk about some of the new cards here. And it's a very amazing card. So if your leader is green at the end of the battle, which you combo with this card in your hands, place this card in rest mode. The good part is this: choose 1 or 2 life, 1 or 2, right? You have to minimum, yep, 1 or 2, then add them into your hands. If you play this card during your opponent's turn, you get to choose one of your green energy and switch it to active mode. So he is essentially a free 10k combo and helps you to even add cards into your hands. In Android 14, this card is amazing in this deck. If your leader card is Android 13, which he is, you get to choose a card from your hand, and you get to choose this card. So you pick this particular card, and then you get to choose 115 in your hands. You put it into your drop area, activate main. So you choose up to 2 cards from your life and add it into your hands. Then you draw a card. Then your opponent chooses 1 card in their hands and places it into the drop area. This is just so amazing because if you think about this is turn 1 play, alright? So how do you do turn 1? You want him in your hands. Please get him into your hands, and then you have this guy too, which is Android 14 and 15 at the same time. So you have 4, 4, 4. So you have so basically you kind of have 8 Android 15, and then you have 8 Android 14 because this doubles as 14 and 15. So you can dump this card and this card, or dump this card or this card. So imagine turn 1, you place 1 energy, then you take this card with this card, or this card with this card, so 14 and a 15. Then you just dump it into your drop area, draw 2, because now you have 14 and 15 into your drop area. You not draw 2, you take 2 cards in your life, and then you add it into your hands. Then with this card, you draw 1 more card. Your opponent discard a card. Then with Android 13, you awaken, and then you draw 2 cards. That is a turn 1 play, which is just simply amazing. Can we agree on that? Alright, so we get past these the initial problem with Android 13, which is the problem with self-awakening. Now he has 0 problem at all if you have this card in your hands. Alright, so now you have 1 energy that is open. So what you want to do with the 1 energy, just make sure that you're playing your defensive options correctly. That is totally okay. And then when it comes to turn 3, it's okay to tap out because it's only turn 3, or if you want to play it safe, you play this guy. So the thing about this deck is that it's a combination with this guy and this guy. That's how you want to get up to your 7 drop, right? So this guy, it's this. So you choose, it's a 3 cost, and immediately you can use him absorb. So you choose up to 1, 14, and 15 cards in your drop area and place them under this card. And then if your leader is an Android card, which we are, you get to choose one Android 13 from your hands with energy cost of 7 and play on top. And that's what he does. This card comes out in your opponent's turn. It's a 20k, so it's pretty difficult to take care of. But you need to tap 2, so you choose up to 1, 14, and 15 cards into drop area and place them under this card. If your leader card is an Android card, you're going to choose 13 from your hands with energy cost of 7 and you play it. So this 2 does the same thing. This is 3 costs because it has to be played on your turn, but this also has this card as an auto, which is if your leader card is an Android card at the end of the battle, which should combo with this card, play this card in rest mode. So it's a 2 cost. So why is it a 4-3 split? Actually, it's good because sometimes this is one of the ways to get past opponent's counterplay, especially in the early game, is this, right? You need this card in your hands and you need this card in your hands. You know your opponent has something like Preemptive Strike, Denial of Hope, or the Son Goku, the Gohan Piccolo, the swing Baton thing, right? So you know that they have it in their hands, so you want to bait them. Because if they swing at you, yeah, you combo, bring this guy out, so they are ready. They use their energy at the point of time. Maybe it's just 2 energy. They use up their 2 energy or 3 energy, and then they use up 2 out of their 3 or 2 out of 2, and then they counter this guy. Denial of Hope, this guy goes to a drop area. That means they're spent, right? This is when you come in with your 3rd energy, play this guy out, and then absorb. They don't have energy to counter you at a point of time. So if you see that your opponent is ready to counter, their energy is open, bait them into countering this guy during their turn, and then use this guy during your turn to absorb. If your opponent is not doing counterplay, then you can safely go for this guy and save on turn 3. Tap 2 energy, you leaving 1 energy open to go up to your 7 chain. This guy, it's pretty amazing if that works for you. If not, bait them to counterplay this, then play this during your turn, right? They just have so much resources that they can use. So this guy's really amazing. When you play this card, your opponent choose, so you can play this card from this card and this card, right? So this is your first option and your best option to start with. When you play this card, your opponent chooses one of the battle your opponent chooses one of their battle cards and KO it. And if they KO, the second auto props in, which is one of your opponent's battle card is placed in the drop area from any other skill other than this one, which is the auto, not this auto, the second auto, right? Your opponent chooses 1 card from their hands and places it in the drop area. What does it mean? Crit. If you use a skill to make your opponent drop a card and he discard a battle card, then he has, because if this guy is on the field, he has to discard another card. Like for example, that's why I play this card, because it forces your opponents to drop a card, and if your opponents drop a card, a battle card, this thing props. If you have like this guy, you pop a opponent's battle card with 3 costs, ignoring barrier, and then your opponent chooses 1 card in their hands and place it in the drop area. Take note of this, right? So you get with this card, right? If this guy is on the board, you want to keep this guy as long as on the board as possible, because this guy is simply just amazing. So Artificial Impact, if your leader card is green, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle card, ignoring barrier, and KO it. So this effect, because if it's a battle card is being put into drop area by one of your skill, right? Your opponent has to discard 1 more because this guy is on the board. And now the second effect comes in. And then choose 1 card in your opponent's hand and place it into drop area. Not that your opponent choose, you choose. So blind pick, you pick one of their battle cards, you pop it into their drop area. And because that battle card, you pick one of your opponent's card in their hands, put it into drop area. If it is a battle card, your opponent has to discard another one again. So with this guy on the board, if Artificial Impact one of their battle cards, there's a chance that your opponent has to discard 1, 2, 3. 3 cards in their hands because this guy is on the board. It's just really compounding the interest. When you swing with this guy, Flash Bomber is pretty good. You could get to choose one Android card, Android card in your battle area, so you cannot use it on the leader. It gets 10k and critical for the duration of the turn. So when you swing and then your opponent takes that damage when it comes to that 10k and critical, he takes a card in his life, puts it into the drop area, and bam, it's a battle card because it's a skill of a battle card. Because it's a skill, critical, it's a keyword skill. He puts it into the drop area. Your opponent has to drop another card because this guy is on the board also. So your opponent goes for double strike, and if the double strike is 2 battle cards because of crit, right? You're swinging at 40k double strike crit, and if your opponent takes that damage, takes 2 cards in his life, puts it into the drop area, and 2 of them are battle cards, he has to discard 2. Just amazing. This guy has no barrier. If this guy has barrier, it's a little bit broken, yeah. And so this is the deck. Now let's talk about, and your leader has crit also, yeah. So if you swing and then you combo with this guy, goes up to 25 crit, and then your opponent drops a card and he drops a battle card, he has to drop another card because this card is on the board. And then if he takes that crit damage, he puts it down, it's a battle card. The life, it's a battle card, he has to drop another card. So it just goes insane very quickly if your opponent has pretty bad luck. Now let's talk about this new card. I love this new card because double strike successor, 2 energy, you can prop on top of this guy. So 7 drop to a 7 drop, yeah. So tap 2, if you swing with this guy and then you just said, okay, maybe I can go for the game, tap 2, pop this guy, and this guy comes out. So if your leader card, it's a 13, you get to choose 3 Android cards in the drop area and place them at the bottom of the deck in any order. You can even put your super combo back, by the way, because it's an Android. So if you pick 3, puts it into the bottom of the deck, then you choose up to one of your opponent's battle card in rest mode, KO it, then your opponent chooses 2 cards in your hands and place them in their drop area. So once per turn, if they don't take care of this guy, because this guy, it's a 30k double striker, if your opponent doesn't take care of him, the next turn, you could put 3 more and make your opponent discard 2. Make your opponent discard 2, discard 2, discard 2, right? So 3, make your opponent discard 2. Now we talk about rebrand. This card, currently it's very expensive, so if you guys want to switch to something else, go ahead, it's totally fine. But this card right now, it's pretty good because if your leader card is green, you send this card from your drop area to your warp, your opponent chooses a 2 card in their hands and place them in your drop area. Maybe you don't have artificial impact, or you are not going for Flash Bomber. So imagine this card comes out in, so imagine this card comes out in turn 3, right? Turn 3. Then at turn 4, that's when you want to swing, and then for 1 energy you use a Flash Bomber, and then you tap 2 and send make your opponent discard 2, and then there's a probability that they are going to be battle cards because they don't have extra cards in their hands, and then they have to deal with this. Yep. And if they send out extra card, that is when you want to go for like a game, because most probably they do not have enough negates to negate your attack. So that is the deck right here. I hope you like it. I enjoy playing Android 13 pretty much. I'm hovering between Cell and Android 13. Cell seems a little bit more stable, right? More consistent. However, when it comes to, you need this card in your hands, and if you have the right cards in your hands, this deck, it's gonna do the work for you. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, stay safe, and see you guys in the next video. Yep, ciao.